the first official mobility class. I got 2 cameras, so hopefully we don't have the same storage issue as yesterday. Trying out the GoPro also for the first time. What you will need is definitely the lacrosse ball. What you do not need, but if you have, we can use as well, will be this compression band mobility floss tool, made popular by Mr. Starrett. Let's get right into it. Waste no time. Get rid of your shoes. We're gonna be starting with your feet and ankles today. Honestly, because I woke up in the middle of the night and just had some weird stiffness on the outside of this ankle. Members of the gym know that I've had some impact foot, ankle, toe related injuries in the past 6 months or so. I'm still recuperating from. So we're gonna start with that. So lacrosse ball, bottom of the foot, it's gonna be 60 seconds. For now, just pretty informal work all over the bottom of the arch of the foot. And I'm gonna move over a little bit, get onto a harder floor, slightly harder floor. So inside of the arch, right? Outside of the arch, middle of the arch, towards the balls of the feet in the front, and back towards the heel. Now when you're doing this, make sure that you are opening up the toes, extending them, and then also curling over the top of the ball as well. We've got about 30 seconds left on this side. Again, let's say next 20 seconds, it's gonna go a little slower, a little more deliberate. Push down. All right, that's about it there. Let's switch sides. Another minute. Again, inside of the arch, outside of the arch, right down the middle. Get up by the balls of the feet. Again, back towards the heel. About 30 more seconds. I don't know if the camera microphone picked it up or not, but there was just a crack right here in my ankle. And I don't know what it means, except for that a massage therapist told me once that that crack and that stiffness I have underneath my foot is directly related, according to him, to the hike in my hip, or at least is a contributor, or there's some correlation, not necessarily causation. Okay, that's a minute. Down to the floor. Next thing we're gonna do is an elbow plank, 30 seconds. So here I'm gonna definitely make sure I'm pushing back, pushing my heels back as if I was trying to stretch my calves, squeezing my butt, tucking the pelvis, pushing up through my shoulder blades. About 15 more seconds. Remember, keep pushing up, keep tucking my pelvis. Like I said about these classes, it's not gonna be an exercise class, but it's also not gonna be just a stretching class. You can do a little bit of everything. All right, come on down. Going into a more classic downward dog type thing. And the idea here is I'm gonna push myself back, but I'm gonna push my heels down to try to get that stretch as much as I can through the calves, behind my knees, through my hamstrings, through that posterior chain. And now here we're gonna hold this for 5 big inhales. Big inhale through the belly, open up the rib cage. Keep pushing back. Back down, rock back a little bit, and then I'm going to go into a bird dog, right? So extend the leg back, bring the arm up. We're trying to stay as neutral here as we can. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. All right, pushing up here on this side, pulling in here nice and tight, lock knee, flexed ankle. Got about 15 more seconds. Remember, we're distributing this body weight right here. This hand, this knee. Right? I'm not gonna lean over too far. I'm gonna keep it right distributed, right in the middle here. All right, that's about our 30 there. We're gonna switch sides. About 15 more seconds. Remember, keep pushing up here, balance in the middle. Okay, so now like I said, we have the compression band. We're gonna be wrapping the foot and the ankle. We're gonna do one side at a time. If you do not have one of these, while the ones that have it are wrapping, you should take your ball again and roll out the bottom of the feet while we start to wrap. Once we're done wrapping, we'll all be doing the same thing. So I'm gonna do the old Kelly Starrett wrap, 50% overlap, 50% stretch. Now for me, this is where it is the stiffest. I'm gonna make sure I get that good compression on there. All right, let's cut it off there. Now everyone picks up together here. We're all doing the same thing. So with or without this band, I'm gonna go into this split position. I'm putting my body weight over the top of this thigh, trying to keep the heel down, but if it elevates a little bit, that's okay. We're looking for a stretch, you know, ultimately through the Achilles, soleus, lower calf area. And here it is, we're gonna be here for about 90 seconds, right? These positions are about time and about relaxation and allowing those muscles the time they need to relax. So again, body weight's here. I'm relaxing right over the top of this thigh. I'm not trying to push it. I'm not trying to apply too much pressure into it, just letting my body weight and gravity do the work for me. Got about a minute from here. Same idea, we can do some rotation, some circles like this, going in one direction, coming back around the other direction. This is one of those positions too, or ideas where, you know, we're looking at an ankle mobilization on this side. I, right now, feel a stretch a little bit over here in this hip flexor on my right side. What does that mean? It means that in this position, my right hip flexor happens to be a little tight. That's not going to be what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to continue to focus on the side, but just keep that in the back of my mind, you know. Make sure I get back and stretch those hip flexors again out a little later. 10 more seconds. Now, since I don't feel anything tingling or jingling, no loss of you know, circulation. I can still feel the bottom of my foot, so I'm gonna leave mine on. I'm gonna go back to that downward dog, right? So now we're at straight leg, as opposed to just having that bent knee. Now for me, with the compression band on, now that I'm in this position, I'm feeling the stiffness in the same area I felt it in the middle of the night. Not in a bad way, in a good way, where it feels like, yep, this is the right position for me to be working on this, and the compression band was probably the right idea. Again, sticking with the straight leg. Now, if any of you who have the bands on, at any point, remember the rules are, if it gets tingly and jingly and sketchy, like Starrett says, take it off. Take it off and just keep going with these stretches without the band for now. All right, that's good there. Gonna unravel. Again, you guys, without the band, go to rolling out the bottom of the feet again with the ball, while we reset and get set up for the other side. So quick little, put this back together again. And I would say always, when you want to put the band on, make sure you start it from this rolled up position. It'll take this extra couple seconds to roll it back up, but it'll be much easier to apply it around the joint. So here we go again, under the foot, 50% overlap, 50% stretch. Hopefully I'll drop it this time again. No guarantees. Ah! This is what happens when you rush. And we got time, right? We got all the time in the world right now. I can't believe 8 minutes has gone by already. This is fast. Okay, back to it. Okay, so now, foot in front, body weight over the thigh. And here we go. So again, the stretch we're looking for is that lower calf, Achilles, soleus, body weight over the top. Remember, we can do some movement here, rotating side to side. This is going to be a 90-second event. I say the difference here on this side is, again, I definitely feel a little bit of a stretch here in this hip flexor, like I said, but I'm also feeling it a little bit in these adductors. I gotta say that recently when I've been back squatting, the occasional time I definitely feel a little, like I'm flirting with a little bit of an impingement here on this right side. I don't know if that's what I'm feeling right now, possibly a little bit, which would mean that when we break out more mobility items later in the week, when we do this class again, we'll be using the barbell, perhaps, or maybe a kettlebell. We got about 30 seconds left on this side. Remember, move your body weight around. All right, and like last time, we'll go back to that downward dog again. Straight leg, heels down, pushing back. Make sure the knees are straight. All right, coming down. So, I'm popping this off real quick. So I had mentioned before the tightness in those hip flexors, so let's all get after some version of a hip flexor stretch or couch stretch. So primarily we're going to start here. So beginners, or whatever level you are, the position we're going to be going for at first is here. Now if this is even that difficult, and you say you get down, you try to get to the floor, you're hitting this position. Let's put a block of pillows, several pillows, even a chair here in front of yourself, just to put your body weight on and feel that little bit of a stretch through here. Everybody else, if you're at least at the floor, what we're going to do here is try to grab the foot. Grabbing the foot, I'm squeezing my butt, I'm squeezing my abs, and I want you guys, if you can get to here, you're going to stay here. For the rest of you who feel that, again, I just can't get it, it's not there, I want you to go set up at the wall, couch, chair, anything where you can put your foot up and feel that you can get to either some type of position like this, maybe you have something on your hands here, or maybe you can get upright. Some of that will be dictated by how close you try to put your knee to the wall or the chair or whatever you're putting your foot on. For now, I'm going to stay with this side, whatever side that we're working on with the leg back. Me, it's my right leg. And I'd say if you guys have been in this position now for about 30 seconds or so, we're going to be here for another minute on this same side. So everyone should be in a position similar to this, or at the wall. And from here, it's about 45 more seconds. With all of that being said, anyone that is here, the next maneuver from there, if you're trying to get down on this elbow. If you got it, get it, and we're hanging. Doesn't matter what position you're in out of all of these, we're squeezing the butt, tucking the pelvis, keeping some activity through the abdominals, and breathing. Breathing while we can, especially if our lungs are coronavirus free. Let's give it 20 more seconds on this side. Keep holding. Breathing, big inhales. Almost there. I spent so much time worrying about the cameras this morning, I forgot to put the timer on in the gym, so I'm using the regular clock over the bathroom door. Here we go, switching. I'm gonna turn around. No, I'm gonna stay this way so I can see the clock. Again, here we are, other side. So you're here, beginners here, maybe up here. I'm gonna try to grab the foot. Remember, even if you have one side that's that much harder than the other, when you did the right side, maybe you grab the foot right away. Left side, I can't do that. So that means you gotta set up back over here, prop that foot on something, and then try to get yourself into position. So sticking with this side, here we go. Let's call it about a minute from here. Again, pulling up on the foot, pelvis tuck, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs. You can get down on this elbow. Get down on this elbow. Breathing, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs. When we do certain core movements, right, or not movements rather, but positions like the plank, you know, and you hear me in class say, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, because the second you're not thinking about holding that pelvis position and squeezing those muscles, you're not going to be anymore. 20 seconds out. Keep squeezing, keep holding. And again, the contractions and squeezing I'm talking about, you know, it's not, you know, 1 rep max. It's just that you're not passively just hanging on the ends of your joints or attempting to be hanging on those end ranges. All right, foot's going back. Flip it over. Pelvic tilts, hip ups. We're gonna do about 20 reps here, right? So the idea is gonna be, again, tuck the pelvis, flatten your back, and we're gonna lift it up to the top. And every time we come down, we're gonna think about lowering 1 vertebrae at a time, kind of curling that back, maintaining that flatness for now. All the way back down to the floor. And I'm gonna totally relax, reset, tuck it up again. This is gonna be rep 2 for me now. Keep tucking on the way down, tuck it on the way up, tuck it on the way down. I'm going very, very slow with these. I'm approaching rep 8 here. Halfway, 10 reps, 10 more. Another thing about tucking the pelvis, you want to make sure that you're not, especially in this new fitness world that we're in now, where it's, you know, glutes, and obviously the glutes are super important. Glutes, and everyone wants to look at glutes, everyone wants strong glutes, everyone wants glutes. It's a big thought process behind tucking your pelvis is, you know, squeeze your butt. But now that we've gotten here, and everyone is so glute focused, we have to make sure that we, from the other side, your abdominals and, you know, anterior core, let's say, also do that. And make sure that you can manipulate your pelvis position using these muscles and not just squeeze your butt as tight as you can every time you lift your hips off the floor or move your pelvis at all. I lost count a little bit. We probably got about 2 more. Tucking, squeezing. Remember, try from the front, try from the back. Last one. All right, flipping it over. I'm gonna stretch those glutes now. So, if you can get into a straight pigeon pose, I wanna see you guys here. This is gonna be another one of those 90-second ones starting now. So if you can get to pigeon, you're here, reach it out, go over the top of the knee, or go over the top of the ankle. The idea is movement. I want you moving here. If you feel like you can get to here, but you're getting some pressure into the knee today, you're gonna do this other variation. If you can't get to this position at all, you're gonna do the other variation. So that one is the classic, I would call another Starrett capsule stretch, What we're gonna do is go straight back. I'm gonna put most of my weight into this hip, but then I'm rotating into it, sweeping this leg over, and continuing trying to think about rotation. My weight shifts a little bit, but it's not all the way over, right? So now I'm down on my elbows, and the next thing to really, put some pizzazz on this is rotate this arm underneath like you're trying to bring this shoulder down to the floor. I'd say at this point, for everybody involved, we got about 30 total seconds left in this position, whether you're in the pigeon or this one. In some of these positions too, especially when you can control your belly breath or your breath into your back, breathe. Big inhales into those areas, and then when you exhale, try to relax deeper into those positions. About 15 more seconds on this side. All right, let's switch it. Same idea. Pigeon, folks, let's get you up here, right? Over the top of the leg. All the positions, forward, ankle, knee. And if not, we're talking about that capsule stretch. I'm gonna come back, shift my weight out, sweep the leg over, get down on my elbows. Everybody's got about a minute from here total. Again, this arm can come underneath. You can see it's a little bit harder for me on this side than the other one. About 30 seconds. We'll go 30 more seconds on this side. All right, coming back quickly to a light child's pose. A little rocking back and forth, big inhales. Let's take 5 breaths here. All right, flip it over. Tuck hold. Right, I'm going to pull the knees back, compress yourself up as much as you can. I'm going to do 30 seconds here. I'm squeezing my legs together, reaching forward with the arms. There's a point here where you pick your shoulders off the floor though, right? And if my shoulders come up, right, my shoulders are down, shoulders are up, but then now I want to stop reaching forward with my head. Put my chin back in a more neutral position and make sure my shoulders and my trunk are what's moving my head from the floor up to here, and I'm not just reaching forward with my head. I think we're at about 30 seconds here. We're going to flip it back over again. Now we're going to stretch the front. So here again, contract that core a little bit, so this way we don't just completely sag and arch, right? Squeeze your butt, tuck the pelvis a little bit, but we are going into that arch position. Drop the hips down. I keep pushing up like this. I'm looking at the ceiling. We're going to be here for about 30 seconds. Breathe into that belly. Keep looking up. Lift that chin. 15 seconds. Now slowly we're going to move back to that child's pose. And as I do that, I'm pushing up. As I start to lift my hips, I want to start to think about tucking my pelvis a little bit as I get to here. And the hips continue to settle back, the back rounds. A little stretch through those lats. I'm sitting back towards my heels. Let's go right back into that again. Let's go forward, lifting up. Another 30 seconds, but what we're going to do right away here is come from here, straighten out the head a little bit, and then rotate all the way to one side. This will be about 15 seconds. I am much tighter here through this right side than I am the left. I bring that up because I want you to think about what sides you feel are tighter than the other, or times you feel that we're stretching a primary area, for instance, the abdominals and hip flexor here. And when you feel that, you know, again, like an over-exaggeration of this would be that if you did this and you felt a stretch in your calves. Now, it would be very odd, but again, it would be something you'd want to take note of. Keep pushing up. All right, we're going to rock back to that child's pose one more time. All right, I want to make sure we get into some of what got cut out of yesterday's video, wall squat stretch, right? So wall squat stretch, you know, you're going to get into a pretty wide base as far as where your squat would be. Your butt is going to be away from the wall for sure. Depending on how far away from the wall will depend on your current flexibility options, right? So feet got to be flat on the floor, feet have to be straight, and then from there will depend on how high or close your feet are from there. And as we go through this stretch, you may end up opening up your feet wider. We'll see. So the idea is going to be these opposing forces. I'm going to be pushing against my thighs with my arms and against my arms with my thighs. So these forces are going to be happening at the same time. So here we go. Squeeze abs, squeeze butt, and get tight for 5 seconds. Release, and now when I release, I keep pushing out. I keep pushing my knees out to the side. I'm going to take 2 more inhales here. All right, we're going to get tight and push again, so I'm going to squeeze and push from both sides. And relax, keep pushing out. 5 inhales. All right, we're going to do that for 1 more cycle. So we're going to hold this for 5 seconds, pushing from both sides, big squeeze. Relax, keep pushing out. 5 breaths. Keep pushing out. Keep pushing out. Keep pushing out. 1 more breath. Hold it. Exhale. Slowly relax that in a little bit. Legs are going to straighten up towards the wall. We got about 5 more minutes today. Move those feet and ankles around. Next up is going to be the wall split. So we're going to get closer to the wall. Hopefully you can get your legs in contact. And then that's it. Open it up. First part of this is going to be active, right? So we want to pull the toes back, push the back of the knees into the wall, flex the quads. You can encourage them to open up a little bit more, right? I tend to like to literally squeeze the muscles in my legs, move them a little bit myself. So move it, like, you know, I guess we say passively with my own hands, and then, you know, as little bit as I can actively, you know, with my muscles in my hips. Play with the upper body positions, right? Hands overhead, bent arm like this, out at the sides. Tuck your pelvis, arch your back, you know, move at the hips, rotate at the femurs, move at the ankles, right? So point those toes like a gymnast, pull them back and extend, toes to knees, heels out. I'm gonna be here for, let's say, 30 more seconds, right? Push the backs of the knees into the walls. Stay active. Okie dokie, slowly support your legs, pull them back in. Let's go back to the mat again. All right, so right now, I'm gonna go through 20 more of those pelvic tucks. You follow along, count with yourself. Remember, keep tucking on the way down. When we're coming down from the top, we're thinking one vertebrae at a time, rolling that spine down to the floor, flat back, relax, reset, do it again. I'm at about 10 here, I'm gonna do 10 more. Three more. Now, if you were following along with me, you cranked through 20 already. You're going too fast. I could be going significantly slower, another 2 or 3 seconds at least per repetition. All right, that's gonna be it there. Let's get that lacrosse ball again. I'm gonna get into the glutes. 60 seconds on each side. Start with bent knees, leg can be straight. And then if you know this one, we're eventually getting up to here, right? Try to keep your hips, knees as close to your chest as you can. Right now I'm supported by both hands. I also like to go down into this elbow. And then with that, I can get the ball up a little bit higher in the back of my hips. We're about 30 seconds out from switching. Fifteen seconds. All right, switching it over. Same idea, so again, you can have bent legs like this, straight leg out. Otherwise, we're getting to this leg crossed over position. Remember, we can be on the elbow, hand here, higher up the hip. Again, you're just searching, go to where you feel it is the worst. And at times like this too, if you just did your right side, on a scale of 1 to 10, that was at 20. And you get on this left side, and it doesn't feel like anything, it feels like a 2 or 3, then maybe you should go back over to that right side, spend the rest of your time there. 20 more seconds on this side. Couple more quick ones. Let's do a seated forward fold real quick. Let's do 60 seconds here, and then we're gonna call it. Right? So just fold over, chest up over the hips. Don't just collapse down. Chest up over the hips. You support yourself with your arms a little bit. Grab onto the feet if you can. If not, hands here are fine. And then with the head too, we're gonna at some point relax the head completely. But again, it's not just drop it down immediately. It's take it the spine as long as it can go first, and then relax here. Let's call it 30 more seconds. All right, guys. All right. That was our first one, first mobility class. In the future, we'd like to try and maybe do some live streams. Please comment or reach out to me directly if we'd like to do some live streams, maybe on a Friday night or on a weekend. If you enjoyed this content, please like. It helps other people see the video on YouTube as well. Comment, definitely subscribe, and we'll see you on the next mobility video.